Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Atandra Vinchale with the Mermaid's Wisdom. This is my first live on Instagram, and I am super excited about that. I had started the live on Facebook, and then something wonky happened, and so I just decided that I was going to go ahead and jump over here on Instagram. So, yay, hello. I will do an introductory video at another time once I get my words together and all of that good stuff, but I wanted to come in today and talk about an experience that I just had with my daughter. And when I was trying to do this video on Facebook, the title of the video was, Our Children Are Not Many Versions of Us. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, again, I am Atandra Vinchale. I am the founder of the Mermaid's Wisdom, which is a new venture for me, and it is an opportunity for me to serve women as a feminine wellness guide and educator and strategist. I am also the founder and the owner of A Stronger You Fitness, Health, and Wellness, where I teach busy women how to fit their fitness, health, and wellness into their busy lifestyle. So again, welcome to my first live here on Instagram. So anyway, some Mermaid's Wisdom for you today. So I am a wife and a mommy of four beautiful children. I have 3 boys and a girl, 16, 15, 12, and 11. So it's boy, girl, boy. And my daughter right now is in 2 activities. So she's prepping for a beauty pageant, and she is also taking a 2-week ballet dance intensive. And so what happened today was that the organizer of the pageant called a practice for the dance that the girls are going to be doing at the pageant. Well, the practice was from 4 to 7, and her ballet dance intensive is from 7 to 9. So the plan was to drop her off at 4, let her practice from about 4 to about 6:40, 6:45. Takes us about 15 and 20 minutes to get to the venue where she has her ballet dance intensive. So I was gonna pick her up, and then she was gonna do her dance intensive from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. That was the plan. That's how we had it set up, and that was the understanding that we had all had. Well, I show up to the place to pick her up from the dance practice for the pageant. And basically what happened was there were some scheduling conflicts. The choreographer didn't get there on time, and there was some, I guess, miscommunication about time with a few people. And so by the time I got there, they were just getting started. And so when I asked my daughter, I said, well, what do you want to do? I said, because you have your dance intensive at 7. So what exactly do you want to do? Are you going to miss your dance intensive and practice for this? Or do you want to miss this and go to your dance intensive? Like, what do you want to do? So when I first asked her the question, she didn't answer. I was downstairs. She was upstairs. She didn't answer. I walked upstairs, and she had started practicing for the dance. And I said, okay, so then you're going to miss your intensive. And when I said that, her whole countenance changed, and she kind of got this attitude on her face, and she was all upset and whatever. And I was like, look, you've got to handle this. Like, this is on you. You knew that you had 2 practices today. You knew that you were prepping for 2 things today, and this is on you. Like, you should have managed your time. Like, if you should have been paying attention to the time. Like, you should have been looking at the time. You knew I was coming, so on and so forth. So, she's upset. And I gave her the number to the coordinator, the owner of the dance school where she's doing her dance intensive. And I said, okay, well, you're gonna have to call her, and you're gonna have to call her on your own, and you're gonna have to let her know that you're gonna be missing her rehearsal tonight. So of course she didn't want to do it, and she was all upset. She got a long face, and I was like, well, you got to do what you got to do. You knew that you had 2 activities, and this is something that you should have done. And it wasn't until we had gotten everything straightened away, like she called, she said, hey, I'm not going to make it, decides that she's going to stay there at the dance practice for the pageant. It wasn't until I left that I realized something. So when I was growing up, I had a completely different life experience. I am the oldest of a total of 11 children, but I lived in the house as the oldest of 6. And so my life was very different than the lives that my children live now. I had a lot of responsibilities. I took on a lot of responsibilities at a very young age. And when I say young age, I mean taking on responsibilities like almost adult responsibilities starting at the age of 10. And so I had to learn how to manage time, and I had to learn how to look at the clock, and I had to learn how to always be aware of what time it was, because there were always so many other things to do, because I was responsible for so many other people other than myself. And originally when I walked away, I was like, I just don't understand. Like when I was 12, I knew what time it was. I knew what I was doing. I knew what my brothers and sisters were doing. I knew how to get everybody where they were getting on time. Like I did this, and everything was structured and everything was on time and da-da-da. And I just don't understand, and I just don't understand, and I just don't understand. And then I got quiet. And what I received was that my life experience was different because I was not allowed to be a 12-year-old child. And that what my daughter is doing, with her being upset about having to call and, not knowing which decision to make, and not paying attention to the time, she's doing what 12-year-old girls do. And so the reason why I couldn't understand that originally from my perspective is because when I was 12 years old, I had so many responsibilities that I wasn't really fully allowed to embody what it is to be a 12-year-old immature girl who just wants to have fun, and you don't really have respect for time because you don't have to, because you don't think about it, because everything in life is fun and awesome and amazing. And as I'm receiving this, I'm thinking about the interactions that I've had with my other children, especially with my oldest son. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I look at all of my children, I'm like, well, when I was at your age, I was this, and this. Again, not understanding that what I was experiencing at that age was not typical for what a 12-year-old is supposed to experience, or, at any of those ages of my children. And so I wanted to share that with you because I think sometimes as parents, we have these expectations of our children. And it's not to say that we should not have expectations, right? It's not to say, and you know what, there even may be some conversation around that word expectations, right? And that's an entirely different conversation. But it's not to say that we don't look for our children to achieve certain milestones, but we also have to understand that they are not many versions of us, and that they live a completely different life experience than what we live. They live in a completely different world from the world that we lived in. And they have a different set of experiences and a different set of challenges, and they are growing up in a completely different environment than the environment that we grew up in. And I think as parents, it's important for us to understand that and try to view the way that we deal with our children through that lens, as opposed to saying, well, when I was your age, I was doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Why don't you do that? Look at where they are and look at the world that they're living in, and attempt to see things through the lens of the experience that they're looking through. And say, oh, okay, well, you know what, that's why. I think about, some of the things some of the expectations that I had of my children. And I was like, well, you know what? The reason why you're not there yet is because you've never been in a position where you had to stay home by yourself and take care of 5 other siblings for extended periods of time. Hold on. This is my youngest baby. Hey, Papa. What's up? Walaikum salam, baby. How are you?
Good. Love you.
Love you too, baby. Mama's coming in a minute. Okay. They didn't live that experience. Like, they didn't live the experience where you had to be solely responsible for making sure that everybody got up and making sure that everybody got to school and making sure, all of these different things. they don't live that lifestyle, and my children actually have a more comfortable lifestyle than the lifestyle that I had coming up. And so I have to understand that they are living their lives through their lens. I said something yesterday that, or I received something yesterday that was really profound. And what came to me was, what I heard was, people are always doing the best that they can with what they have, not with what you have. And not even with what you would desire for them to have. They are always doing the best that they can with what they have. And so when we look at our children, and we look at expectations, and we look at milestones, and we look at things that we feel like they should be doing, we have to understand that they are doing the best that they can with what they have, and not with what we desire them to have. And if we have something, a skill set that we desire for them to have, then it's important that we support them where they are, because you cannot educate. A person cannot receive education from you if they don't feel fully supported by you. That makes sense. So starting from, leading with love, and starting from an area of understanding, and starting from this place of, how can I provide support to you where you are now, given what you have now, so that I can impart to you the knowledge and the wisdom and the tools that I have that I think would help to optimize your life experience. So anyway, that was my experience, and I just wanted to share that for my first Instagram live video, as the Mermaid's Wisdom. Check out my website. This is a brand new venture for me. I don't even have professionally done business cards yet. My website is just something that I threw together. But the work is real. And this is the beginning of my journey towards becoming a real supporter of feminine wellness, and helping women experience what it is to be well from a place of our feminine power. And so this is the beginning of that. And so if you take a look at my profile, I do wellness consultations, I do weight loss consultations, I do nutrition education, but I also do, I'm also a Reiki practitioner, and I am an intuitive oracle and tarot reader as well. And there's some energy work associated with that. And coming here in the next few months, we're going to have some conversation about Yoni eggs and wands and steams and teas. And so there's going to be a store, and there's going to be a whole lot of amazing things that are going to be coming soon, and coming in the future, from the Mermaid's Wisdom. And so I thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening and for listening to me. I thank you so much for your time and your attention. I never, ever will take that for granted. And if you want to follow along with me, you can visit my website at themermaidswisdom.com. So it's mermaids with an S, plural, www.themermaidswisdom.com. You can find me, I'm on Instagram now, but you can find me on Twitter, as well as on Facebook at Mermaid's Wisdom. The name of the page is The Mermaid's Wisdom. And I have a private Facebook group, a private Facebook incubator for women who really want to know what it's like to really embody and understand the power of feminine energy and teachings in the beauty that is feminine mystery, the beauty that is feminine alchemy, the beauty that is feminine wellness. And so for women who want to learn about that, and who want to take their wellness to a completely different level, and understand themselves on a deeper level, I would like to invite you to join our private Facebook group. It's called The Mermaid's Lair, Lair. And it's just a wonderful place. Again, all of this is new, so bear with me, but I got all kind of good stuff for you guys coming soon. So anyway, I love you all. And until we speak again, stay strong, stay beautiful, and always work towards becoming a stronger you. Peace out. And now I gotta figure out how to end this.